The vibrance and saturation sliders are incredibly important inside Lightroom, especially if you want to increase the amount of color found within inside your photo. The problem is you don't have much control over where it's adding in that color, as they are global sliders affecting your entire photo. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how you can take back control over where that color is being applied by creating a saturation mask. And I'm going to start right now. Now, there are two ways of creating a saturation mask within inside Lightroom, and depending on the effect that you're after, or depending on which way it will work best for your image. So let's take this photo as an example. Let's say I want to increase the saturation to the greens and to the overall foreground and background, but I don't want to add in saturation to the shadows or highlights. Highlights will affect the sky, and I just don't want to add in saturation there, as well as I don't want to add in too much saturation to the shadows. I want to just go for the midtones. Well, obviously we can't use the vibrance or saturation slider because they're global sliders. They're going to affect everything. We've got no control of where it's being applied. So instead of using the basics panel, let's head over to our masking panel. Right, so what I'm going to do is go ahead and create a new mask, and I'm going to drop down to where you can see it says luminance range. Now, a luminance range mask allows you to select a specific brightness within inside the photo. So I'm going to go ahead and select the midtones, or the area that I want selected. So predominantly you can see the green in the background. So I'm going to go ahead and simply click. And once you've done that, it will come up with this overlay. And this is roughly the area that's red is what is selected. Now you can refine that further if you want to by going to our luminance range mask here. So what I might do is I want to completely remove it from the sky, so we can actually use these toggles to reduce this selection here. We can actually move this around until you are happy with the result. So I don't want it to affect the sky. As you can see, the sky is now not selected, and I'm pretty happy with the shadows here as well. There's not much shadows in this photo, but I want it to slowly taper off. So we can move these anchor points here until you're roughly happy with the selection. Now, once you've done that, what I'm going to do is zip all the way down to where you can see it says color, and now we've got a saturation slider. So now if we use that, we can see, even if we increase it to like 40, 50%, we're not adding in saturation to the sky or the background. So it's looking really nice and really natural. And I really like doing this, creating a saturation mask versus just using the simple vibrance and saturation slider, because it adds in colors everywhere. You've got no control of where you want it to be applied, where using a saturation mask takes back that control. So you don't have to affect the sky, for example, or the bright parts of your image, or the shadows, or even the midtones. If you want nice, dark, very saturated shadows, for example, well, the saturation slider is not going to do that, but a saturation mask will. But what happens if you only want to select or saturate a specific hue or tone? Well, again, we can now create a saturation mask. So let's exit out of here. What I can do is go over to photo 2. Now this photo here has already got a saturation mask applied. Can you see where it's been applied? The trees here is where I've applied it. So what I can do is go over to my masks here, and you can see where it's been applied. So what I've done is I've used a color range mask instead of using a luminance mask, because it allows me to select a specific hue. So what I can do is just go ahead and delete this mask quickly, and I can show you how I made it. So what I'm going to do is create new mask, and this time I'm going to drop down to color range mask. So instead of selecting a bright point or a brightness point within the image, we're now selecting a specific hue. And now I'm going to go ahead and select the trees, as you can see. Now again, with this we can refine it further after you've made it. So you've got our refine tool. We can either make it a narrower selection, or we can increase that selection. So I'm going to probably increase it to around about 65 in this example. And then what I'm going to do is, again, go down to saturation, and now we'll only apply it to that one hue, and then we've slightly expanded it. So I might increase this actually to around 50. Now, the issue is that when you select that, you might select areas that, again, you don't want. But what's really nice, because it's a mask, we can subtract from it. So we can remove it from, or even add to different parts of the image. So with that mask, you can see here we've got add and subtract. Let's say I don't want it to affect the water. Well, I can do subtract, go down to radial gradient, or any gradient of that matter, and then go ahead and just remove it from that area. Again, you can move that mask around until you are happy. You can change the feather as well. So now we've added a saturation mask that's not affecting the water, but it's affecting everything else with that color range mask selected. So as you can see, a saturation mask is incredibly powerful, bringing back control of where you want to add in color. Here is the before, and here is the after. Thank you to all my YouTube members that are currently supporting the channel. If you guys want to support the channel and get some awesome perks, including free Lightroom presets, which you'll be able to find on my website, make sure to go ahead to the link in the description. I've been James for Photo Fever, and I'll catch you guys on Thursday.